about as far as I can go.
Keeping a pre-war vintage car in service presents a lot of challenges. Today I want to present the Lynch performance products and how they can help keep a car that's 80 years old still running smoothly, from the cooling system to the fuel system and to the lubrication.
These are the cooling system products. The next set is the gas products. The oranges are the oil products. The yellow is the transmission and hydraulics, and then we have the diesel products.
Lynch products really help out when it comes to the thermal siphon system that this Model A Ford has, including the potential for leaks around the pump, leaks around the head gasket, maintaining a clean radiator that will take you through all those parades without a problem.
Okay, I'm going to demonstrate the cooling system products. The first one I'm going to demonstrate is the cleaner. See if you want, these pennies are very dirty. You're seeing the edges on the penny already cleaning up, and now the center is starting to clean up. Now you can notice I can put my fingers in there because it isn't anything harsh or does not have to be flushed out thoroughly and all that kind of stuff. Generally speaking, we put it in with the antifreeze and let it either set. It's better to let the engine run because the warmer it is, the better it works. So if you let the engine run and keep it warm, it cleans a lot quicker and a lot sooner. But you can see already that this is cleaning and it's not hot at all. It's cold, and it's really starting to clean up pretty good. So that's how well that works. And like with this product, you just take off the lower hose, let it drain out. You don't have to flush it or anything like that. Just let it drain out. Hook up the hose, and then put in the cooling system conditioner, which continues to make the antifreeze that you put in there more like a permanent antifreeze, because it stops all the electrolysis, stops all the scaling, and of course now with this product we have cleaned out all the scaling, and this continues to keep it out because it's all clean and it keeps it clean and doesn't allow it to come back. It neutralizes all of that kind of stuff. So it's a great neutralizer as well. Okay, now what we're going to do.
I'd like to show you our cooling system stop leak sealer. What's great about this product, it's a heavy duty sealer that stays in suspension. It doesn't float around and plug things up like a lot of different products that are dry solids. This product stays in suspension. What we have here is a simulated leaky radiator. The best way to show the product naturally is in a car. But we've got our simulated leaky radiator here showing the product's ability to stop the leak. You just take a little bit of the product and pour it in there. It doesn't take much at all. Give it some circulation, because we don't have a water pump, we don't have the pressure of the system or the heat of the system. But without those things working for us, we can go ahead and show its ability to stop the leak. Now after this is heated and cooled, it becomes permanent. It works much like a liquid plastic. And you can see that staying in suspension, it conditions the water, and it's there. If you have a leak, it will take care of it. You won't even know it. We call it cooling system insurance. Used a lot in automotive repair and the racing industry. Now this is so concentrated, you can take and pour that in this amount of water we have here and still continue to seal those leaks, because it truly is a heavy-duty cooling system stop leak sealer.
Lynch also has a solution for your fuel system to keep the carburetor clean, the filter clean, and to keep your fuel tank clean. Most fuel today has water in it, and when your vehicle sits and is used intermittently, condensation accumulates, and so water is a real serious problem, along with the rust and corrosion that builds up in the tank.
What we'd like to do today is show you a demonstration on a few of our different products. First product we'd like to show is our carburetor injection cleaner. Now, one of the things that is bad for a fuel system is condensation that builds up in the fuel tank. You need to get rid of that water and condensation so that you can clean your fuel system, stopping rust, corrosion, carburetor icing, and many other problems. What we'd like to do is show you how this works. Now let's take a little bit of gasoline, and we'll put that in our test tube here. This is just like gasoline in your fuel tank. You can see it laying there on the bottom. Now as you get condensation, you start to add the condensation in your fuel system, and pretty soon you can see what the problem is. You've got water separated from the gasoline, and this is your problem. You can't pick the water up when it's separated. So what we do is we take a little bit of the Lynch carburetor and injection cleaner and we put that in that fuel system. Now as you take and drive the car, take a bump out of the driveway or drive the car down the road, you can see that it completely absorbs that moisture and makes it one clean burnable solution, so that you can get that moisture out of the fuel and clean your system. Now in comparison, let's do the same test with a competitive product. Let's take our gasoline and put it in our bottle, in our fuel system. Let's take our water and add that to our fuel system. Condensation that builds up over time. And you can see that gas and water don't mix. Now let's take a competitive product that claims to do the same thing. Read the bottle, they say basically the same thing. Let's add that product, give it the bump out of the driveway, or drive it down the road, and you can see that you still have your water at the bottom of the fuel tank. Now the whole idea was to get the water out of the system, clean the system, but as you can see, there's a difference in products. One product says what it does and does what it says. The other product says basically the same thing, and you can see there is definitely a difference in automotive fuel products.
In this Model A Ford, the splash oil system and lack of filtration presents a real problem with carbon and acid buildup. The manufacturer requires frequent oil changes to make up for that buildup of acids and carbon in the lubrication. Lynch provides a cleaner that'll clean out that prior to changing the oil, and then provides special lubricants that help those bearing surfaces to move more smoothly and with less friction. So let's go ahead and go into the garage and take a look at some of the Lynch products that can really help you out with your Model A.
I'd like to show you a short demonstration on our oil products. What we use here is a simulated engine, transmission, or rear end, or any friction making part of the car. This machine was developed by the oil companies years ago to test the film strength of oil. What we have is a moving part here and a stationary part here, two metal-to-metal contact points. We put weights over here to add pressure, load, simulated RPMs, load, pressure, torque. We use weights instead of a torque wrench or anything else that could be manipulated. We put the weights on here to show just how much pressure we're applying, and that puts about 100 pounds on this small pressure point. So let's go ahead and get started here. We'll take a little bit of a well-known oil. All oils reach their breaking point to where they're actually squeezed from between the moving surfaces. Now, this isn't broken down, it's simply being squeezed from the metal surfaces, creating friction and wear. If this didn't happen, you'd never wear anything out. Let's go ahead and start our engine up here. And as we turn it on, you can see the oil circulating. Now, as we start to add the RPMs, load, and pressure, you can hear that pretty soon that oil has become squeezed from the two surfaces. Now, there's nothing wrong with the oil, it's simply been squeezed out. Now, this could be bearings and crank, cylinder walls, rings, ring and pinion gears, transmission clutches, anywhere that you have lubrication and friction and wear. If this never happened, you'd never wear anything out. Let's go ahead and take a look at our surface here, our stationary surface, and you can see that rough, dull cut that we put in there. Now again, if we never squeeze that oil out, we'd never have the friction or wear. Let's put that back on, make sure nothing's changed, start our engine up, and you can see that right away we've locked it up. Let's take a little bit of our engine tune-up product. Now this is our lightweight oil product. We also make oil treatment conditioner, which is our heavy, thicker oil product when you need to build the viscosity of your oil. Let's take a little bit of this and add that to that oil. Now we'll take and turn our engine on, let that circulate, take the same amount of weight, and as that is squeezed into the metal surfaces, our metal treatment product fills the micropores of the metal, causing less friction and less wear. Not only will it make 100% difference there, but as we go ahead and double the amount of weight, you can see that we continue to rotate. Now before, it stopped at 3 weights, now we're carrying 6, and it still continues to rotate. What this means is easier starts, summer, winter, when it's cold, hot, easier on your starting system, easier on your battery. Let's say you happen to lose your oil completely. This is not an oil additive. This product goes completely into the metal to where you can take the oil completely away and you'll still continue to rotate because you're riding on our protection instead of the oil's protection, and it helps this oil or any oil do a better job. Protected product, our PLP. Now a lot of people say, is there really that much difference in penetrants and lubricants? And I say there's as much difference in these products as night and day or people or anything else. What we're going to do is use this friction machine to create friction and show how different products work. Now let's take a well-known spray lubricant here. Let's spray plenty of that product on our friction surface, turn on our machine, and start to apply pressure. Now, as you can see, with a certain amount of pressure, we've locked that up. Not only has it locked up, but it's dulled. You can see the friction and wear as it starts to smoke. Let's take that off, and you can see the amount of friction and wear that we put on that bearing. Now let's put that back on there. This is a quick demonstration, but we'll get our point across. As you apply that pressure, you still have the same amount of friction and wear. Now let's take a little bit of our PLP, our penetrant lubricant protectant product, do the same thing. Even with that rough galled surface, let's spray that on there. Take the same amount of weight, apply the pressure. Right away you can see there's definitely a difference in these products, just like I was saying before. You can see that it's a lightweight product, it's not a thick product. You can go ahead and add more weight. You can go ahead and double the amount of weight. keeping in mind, we don't have a crankcase full of product here. It's simply what's in the metal. Metal conditioner, the metal treatment goes into the metal, cutting friction or wear. It's not being replaced by anything in the crankcase. It simply goes into the metal surface, and that's how it does its protecting. Anything you add it to is going to have less friction, slide, work easier. The penetrating products will loosen anything rusted, and it just does a great all-around job. It penetrates, lubricates, protects, cuts friction or wear, cleans, it literally does it all.
The last thing you want to do when you take the grandkids out for a little spin to get some ice cream is to have a fuel blockage, have a failure in your cooling system, or have an engine failure due to lack of lubrication. So let's see what it takes to have happy motoring with Lynch Product.